This video is brought to you by volunteeraudio.com, your #1 source for all things Harley Davidson audio. From individual radios, speakers, and amps to complete plug-and-play amp and speaker systems, we've got you covered. And once you've ordered your package from Volunteer Audio, it includes lifetime tech support. And we have the very best step-by-step installation video so you can install it yourself and save money. All right, so we're going to start our step-by-step series on this new CVO, but the most important first thing to do is to protect this front fender before we pull our fairing. So we're going to put a fender protector on it. You can do the same thing by putting a towel on it or some sort of maybe microfiber rags. We just want something protecting this fender, so if you were to drop a bolt, if you were to drop one of your tools, hopefully it doesn't dent it or scratch it. So, all right, so we're going to move on to fairing removal. Robbie's going to have a 1/8 Allen head. Sometimes these are Torx, sometimes they are Phillips, but most of them are going to be an Allen head screw. We're going to remove the 4 screws, or actually loosen all 4 screws at the base of the windshield. So I'm going to loosen them first because that's going to allow us to pull our windshield out. Then we'll remove the rest of the hardware. All right, so we're going to set our windshield to the side. It's always a good idea to have a storage container to put all of your hardware in. This is going to make sure that at the end, you've made sure that all the bolts went back into the bike. It's also going to keep you organized as you do this. All right, so next we're going to actually remove this piece. Robbie's going to show you a trick about where to grab. He's going to push down on the outer fairing and put his hand underneath, and he's just going to lift up. That's going to remove it without breaking all of the little tabs underneath it. Okay, so after you've done that, while you're here, we're going to go ahead and unplug these 2 electrical connectors to go to our side marker lights. There's one on each side. It's going to get us ready to pull this fairing later. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to remove the speaker grills. We're just going to take a panel removal tool. We're going to go in on this side, pry out just slightly, and it's going to allow us to pull these 2 clips loose. The other side actually lips under, so we don't want to pull from that side or you would possibly break your grill. It's going to give us access to a couple of the screws that we need to get to behind later. They're going to be the last 2 we remove when we remove our fairing. All right, so next step, Robbie's going to take his T25 Torx. He's going to be removing the lowest screw on the inner fairing. You do not need to remove the upper, just the lower one on each side. All right, so now he's going to take a 3/16 Allen head. He's going to be removing the bolt from the marker light on each side of our outer fairing. Sometimes these are Torx, but most of the time they will be an Allen head. All right, so at this point, there are only 2 screws holding our fairing on. They're a T25 or T27 on each side of the speaker grill area. So these are the last 2 we're going to remove because you need to actually hold the fairing on while you remove them so that it doesn't fall off. All right, so at this point, all the bolts are removed from the fairing. We're simply just going to grab it, kind of wiggle a little bit, and pull it off and set it to the side. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and move on to our headlight. We're going to remove it. It's going to give us access to the factory amp as well as access to put our new amp in. But the first step, Robbie's going to actually use a panel tool and remove these 2 accessory connectors from the top of the headlight. So now we're going to take the Allen heads from the top of the headlight loose. They're also a 3/16 Allen head. That is the one that we're going to use primarily. So 2 Allen heads will be needed for this job, an 1/8 and a 3/16. All right, now that all 4 bolts are out, we're just going to bring our headlight out. We're going to unplug it, and we're going to set it to the side.